Jay-Z has come out of hiding. He's come out of hiding. Jay-Z. Ooh, let me turn myself off. He's come out of hiding. He's come out of hiding, and he's had an interview with GQ magazine. And in this magazine interview, based on what I see in my observations, it's a whole lot of history being rewritten in live time. Y'all know me, I document and follow music history. History in general. I fucking love history. I'm a goddamn nerd when it comes to history. And I'm very, very sensitive to when history is being rewritten in live time. Because that's how it happens. History is always rewritten in live time. And it did a little after. Think when it comes to the Moors being written out of European history, that happened during the iconoclast movement. Here in America, a lot of what went on here in indigenous America got written out of history really in live time, but really after 1890 when the Rockefellers took over. Rockefeller. His name Rockefeller. It's all about rebranding history, you know. Interesting, Jay. That's the name of one of his companies, you know, former companies. And we're seeing it happen right now in front of us with Jay-Z. And with more than just Jay-Z, but since this was his interview, we're going to talk about it. So what we're going to do is give me 30 seconds to get these video clips lined up. About a minute, then we're going to get started, all right? What's up, y'all? Let's go. Let's get right into it. RC in the chat room said all these 40, 50-year-old men bending over to make Drake a victim. Right. Black Men's Rising says Jay-Z don't like Nicki Minaj or Drake. Don't let that smile fool you. Let me give you a little bit more of that. Jay-Z don't like black people, all right? He wouldn't be the do-boy for them folks if he did. So let's just I agree. Probably I don't know if he liked them or not. He probably don't, but I'm expanding that. That nigga don't like black people. And so let's get into it. But before we get into it, can we start off today with a prayer? That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start today off with a prayer, then we're gonna jump into it. Don't be a hoe. Don't be a hoe. Don't be a hoe. Don't be a hoe. What do I mean by don't be a hoe? For too many men of the Gen X and older millennial generation, Jay-Z tends to be a sensitive topic. And simply telling the truth about music tends to offend these boys. And you will see the most strongest of men turn into the weakest of wimps when Jay-Z's name is being spoken of in a non-glorifying manner. So when you talk about Jay-Z, you see the whole nature of too many men come out. Too many black men got a stronger defense for Jay-Z than they do for their own kids not passing math. So many men care more about what Jay-Z said than their children's ability to read at a grade level. Too many men, when it comes to Jay-Z, wish that they were Beyonce. Because a lot of you niggas sound like y'all want to get effed by the hoes. We just saying right now, Lord, we praying that these hoe ass niggas don't come around. And if they do come around, Lord, we pray that our moderators convict them with a punishment of 300 seconds for acting like a hoe. If they come back from a 300-second timeout, Lord, I pray that my mods 86 them. Because we do not have time for whole shit. Now, you can love Jay-Z. You can support Jay-Z. You can give your opinion in the chat freely. We just ask one thing, Lord. Don't be a hoe. Don't be a hoe. And with that, we say, Lord, amen and amen. Let's keep the whole shit away from these beautiful men and women in my chat room who love honesty and integrity. Don't be a hoe. All right, so now that we got the hoe prayer out the way, because I know it's going to be a lot of hoe ass niggas in the comments after the video. I pray that the Lord rebukes thee. All right? Now let's get into it. Jay-Z just had an interview on GQ magazine. And there was a lot of revisionist history going on. Revisionist history is when you revise the history. Revisionist history is when you go back and rewrite the history on something. And I tried not to watch any review channels this morning. Once I saw Jay-Z had an interview up, I went right to the interview. So I think I may have saw one person for like 2 minutes. So I don't really know what other channels are talking about when it comes to this. I just saw this thing pop up on my suggested videos as soon as I opened up YouTube, and I watched it right away so I can give you guys my fresh opinion on all of this. All right? Make sure you go to bamfamilytree.org for the Music History Foundation and IncenseandAshtrays.com. I was going to do an article review today, but I'll do this article review sometime later this week. I have a new blog up, Beyond Gang Culture, How Policy Reshaped Black Los Angeles. It's a very detailed read. It takes you about 10 to 15 minutes to read through it all, maybe less. And we break down, what happened here in LA. Because I recently saw a story where someone was trying to blame what's going on in LA on the gangs. The gangs ain't that goddamn powerful now. Shit. So let's tell the truth. So that blog is up on incenseandashtrays.com right now. All right. All right. So let's go. Where are my timestamps? Okay. So here's the early part where he's talking about reasonable doubt. Listen to this part.
True. And the truth is, at the end of the day, it still reigns supreme.
When you're feeling these feelings, how do you then bounce back and get back to being Jay-Z?
I don't know. This is the first thing I'm doing.
Yeah.
Actually, it was just like, all right, man, we played enough defense. 2026 is all offense. When we first dropped Reasonable Doubt, we sold 34,000 records. We were in at MTV, give us a performance in the last slot.
Yeah.
And they were like, what? You don't even have a video that we played. They ain't say these words, but you know what I'm saying. The energy was like, you're new.
Yeah.
You haven't proven yourself. But then now.
All right, so here we go. Let's start off with that. There is a glaring omission of Damon Dash. Glaring omission. And you're going to find that throughout the interview. But he starts by talking about Reasonable Doubt when it first came out, only selling 35,000 units. He talked about it only selling 35,000 units, and he says that, here is, you were new. No, remember this. See, right now, Jay-Z is at that point of his career where it's a new generation. Like this young man, he was too young to know. You know what I mean? So we see already in this interview that he's trying to set this up because it's a whole generation that Jay-Z's the old nigga to them. And they don't really know the nuances of what happened during that time. And he talks about being new. No, Jay-Z was not new. I personally first heard of him in 93, 92, 93. Jay-Z is older than Nas, and he been on the scene. By the time Reasonable Doubt came out, he's been on the scene 7 or 8 years. He wasn't new. Kane talked about trying to get him signed in 91. He wasn't new. The reason why Reasonable Doubt, and this is my opinion, y'all can feel however y'all feel. I'm not going to argue with you because I believe I'm right, and you're not going to say anything to change my opinion. But Reasonable Doubt sold 35,000 albums because in 1996, we didn't need Jay-Z. He was 96. The OGs are still in the game. Pac is still alive at that point. When Reasonable Doubt drops, Pac is still alive. Biggie's still alive. LL Cool J is doing it well. The year before, Nas is dropping It Is Written. You got Outkast, ATLians. Hell, Onyx was a hell of a lot more popular. Onyx was the shit. You got UGK. You got all these artists around. Remember, Jay-Z gets popular from quoting Biggie. Let's never forget that. Jay-Z's biggest quotables from 96, 97 till about 2003, 4. Jay-Z thrived off quoting other rappers' music, other R&B singers' lines, comedians' lines. And in 96, that was still taboo. Let's go back to the rules of hip hop pre-1996. Pre-96, you could not have a career quoting a bunch of other rappers' lines and then repackaging somebody else's lines and making them into your own song. That was a no-no as far as the culture of black music in 1996 and before. That was a strict taboo. If you're going to cover a song, then just cover the whole song and give credit to who wrote it first. But you don't say 99 problems, but a bitch ain't one. That wasn't cool then, because Ice-T said it first. So when the OGs are alive and still making music, there's no space for a mimic. Why do you need a mimic when the real ones are still here making music? Me and my girlfriend. So Jay-Z wasn't useful when the OGs were still living. Jay-Z wasn't useful pre-1996 Telecommunications Act. When radio started to all get gobbled up by corporate interests and you choose, and they choose who gets pushed to the top. When the streets had a chance to choose, Jay-Z was not chosen. He just told you, 35,000 units. There was no space for a mimic at that time. We are talking some hip hop and music history right now. Anybody got an issue with what I'm saying? You can call in later on when I'm done. I'll probably be done breaking this down in about an hour. Stick around, especially if you're going to call in. Because if you're going to call in, I don't want you saying, oh, why did you talk about this? And I did. And then what happens is, this is what happens when you bring up Jay-Z's mimicking. Because a lot of y'all, and I'm not talking about every Jay-Z fan. I'm not going at every Jay-Z, because I still like a lot of his music. Even a lot of shit that he stole. I still like some of it. But what always happens is, you'll get a Jay-Z fan and be like, well, Snoop redid Lottie Dottie. That's called a cover song, dummy. Which he told you whose song that was. He just wanted his interpretation. And he did one song. One song. That was a cover that was very obvious it was a cover that Snoop never tried to play off as if Lottie Dottie was his own lyrics. He never tried to play it off. That's far different than 12 songs on an album, taking a line from here, a line from there, and almost every goddamn song is built around somebody else's song. Huge difference, not the same thing. Shut it up. So that part right there, let's make sure that we make that part very clear. Before 1996, and this is across all black music, there was no taking a line here, taking a line there, and re-rapping your song in somebody else's line. Excuse me, miss, what's your name? Can I come? All right, Luther Vandross. I like the way he did it first. Although I do like the song more. So let's start right there. Rewriting history. That is the theme of today. Jay-Z is trying to rewrite history right in front of your motherfucking face. Now let's fast forward to this part. This is where he talks about the Nets. This is where he talks about being the owner of the New Jersey Nets or Brooklyn Nets.
For 82, I'll look at you like it's gravy, like, you know?
Yeah, because it's all wins. If I had 0.1 of the nets, I won.
Or
It's like I had ownership in a basketball team in Brooklyn.
is that something you continue to apply? Like,
Yeah.
Hear what he just said. Here's the reason why he talked about if I own 0.111% of the nets, I won. Here's the reason why people get on Jay-Z for the whole net situation. One, it helped start gentrification in Brooklyn. You sold your home city out. You sold where you grew up out for 0.0000% one. Let's reframe this. I'm Jay-Z, and I sold my city out for how much?
what's the Nets go 0 for 82? I'll look at you like it's gravy, like, you know?
Yeah, because it's all wins. If I had 0.1 of the nets, I won.
Or
I won. You heard him? He did. That's about how much he owned. You already said he won. See, the issue isn't people hating on you for owning that part of the nets. The issue is you sold your community out for chicken change. That's the issue. James Brown talked about that in The Big Payback. You sold me out for chicken change. That's the issue. And the issue is when you go to your music, you're selling it to your fan base. Like, now I park in my own arena. What song was that? It was on the album he did with I see the album cover. It's the album he did that Hollywood was on with Beyonce. What album was that? Oh, I'm drawing a blank. 07. That album. Jay-Z came in talking about some, now I park in my own arena. You really did try to sell us on you at the time. Let's go back to the time. You sold black people that was your team. I knew it wasn't true. But that's what you sold in your interviews and your music. So now he's talking about how he won. I want y'all to remember that because he's going to talk about people hating on him for being successful later on. But I want y'all to hear that part. I won. You did win. But a lot of your people lost.
It's like I had ownership in a basketball team in Brooklyn.
Is that something you continue to apply? Like,
y'all see that? Yeah, that was Kingdom Come. I think it was on the Kingdom Come album. Yeah, Lost One. That was the song, Lost One. Yep. That was the song. I appreciate that, Markeith. Lost One. This song. Yep. I like that song too. I think it was in that one. Let me see. It was another song. No, it wasn't that. It was. No, it wasn't Lost One. Although I do like that song. It wasn't Lost One. Oh, it was on American Gangster? One second. I'm gonna come and play that song. Let's see. No, I can't. Well, anyway. But let's get back on track. That's what he was talking about. He sold his own people out for 0.000000000000001% ownership, and then got back in the booth and basically, oh yeah, 30 something. That's what it was. I think it was that song. I think it was 30 something. Yeah. I knew it was on Kingdom Come. I knew, was it? Yeah. Yeah. And if you want to know the difference between maturity, listen to Jay-Z's version of 30 something, and then go ahead and listen to Andre 3000 flip that song 30 something, and you'll see a huge difference between what true maturity is. Let me see here. Where is it? Let me see. Where was it?
Cruise the used car lot, put chrome in the truck. Pay boy, now I'm all grown.
I'm trying to look for that line. But if you go back and listen to that song 30 something, 30 something was a real, this 30 something came out right when I was about, right just before I turned 30. I was in my 20s when that came out. And basically, the whole song is a consumerism song. I'm a better man, I'm a better person than you because I'm a better consumer than you. I'm gonna look at that part. Let me see. Yeah, I like that song. Yeah, Jay-Z's the face of gentrification, yeah. I can't find that line in the song, and I don't want to play
one
through
gun
it.
on me.
I don't want to play through it because I don't want to get a strike. So I'm not going to go back through it. I'm not going to go through it. So let's just keep going. But it's in 30 something, but I don't want to play the song. But yeah, if you listen to Jay-Z's,
boy, cause I'm all grown up.
I'm grown up because I got, because the kind of car I got. And I'm like, because you got good credit. And not to brag, but I always had good credit. My mama taught me about credit when I was 12. Shit, I remember that song 30 something being so silly because I was 21. I was 21 with an 840 FICO score. So when I heard him talking about I'm 30 and I got good credit now, I'm like, nigga, if you don't get these low expectations out of here, nigga. Now respect to people who, because some of y'all had parents that fucked y'all credit up before y'all got the chance to even do anything with your credit. And I get it. But I'm like, having good credit is nothing to brag about. You borrow, you pay. You borrow, you pay. Just pay it on time. It's very easy to get an 800 FICO score, if you ask me. Very easy. Lowered expectations. All right, so now let's go in here where he's talking about capitalism. Nigga said, Jay-Z is smart to dumb people, right? He was definitely said to Mr. The Energy of Resistance, of course. Yeah, on 30 the new 20, he was damn near 40 at the time, right? Let's go into this part where he's talking about capitalism.
And the culture, like on Universal Soldier, I think it is, when you said that you don't keep the same energy for the DuPonts and the Carnegies.
Yeah.
So I wanted you.
Somebody said it is something, that's not, if he speak, it's not, you don't brag. Look, it is okay, yeah, you're right. It's good. It's good to be proud to have good credit, yes. But it's nothing to cap on your fellow man over. I'm not better than the next black man because my credit is good. That's why that line was so fucking stupid. I'm 30 now. I've been fucking up. Now I'm all grown up, and you niggas, the whole song 30's a new 20 is saying, I'm here and you're there. That's the whole theme of the song. I'm here, you're there. And I'm over here at the time. Because when that shit dropped, at the time, I was in my mid-20s. I owned a house. I had a, $600,000 house back then? 820 FICO score? But even at that time, I never felt that I was better than the next man who didn't. It's nothing to brag about. Take care of your responsibilities, just take care of your responsibilities. That's a character thing. You say, I want this money, you pay it back. That's just character. Unless, and some people don't mean you have bad. Some people just came upon difficult situations and they can't pay it back. Still don't mean the person that ain't on that difficult situation is better than the ones who isn't. That ain't nothing you slap your fellow man over. That's low expectations. Lowered expectations. Now let's go to this part.
With you in a broader sense in the culture, like on Universal Soldier, I think it is, when you said that you don't keep the same energy for the DuPonts and the Carnegies.
Yeah.
So I wanted you to talk a little bit about this idea of like you said earlier, like the things that you do for the culture, the ways that you put on, the ways that you try to protect and move forward, but kind of the pushback that you get sometimes about like people throw capitalists at you in a derogatory sense.
First off, he said people don't go at the DuPonts and the Carnegies. First off, because the DuPonts and the Carnegies sort of stay out the way. The DuPonts and the Carnegies don't make money bragging about how much more money they got than you. So even comparing yourself to the DuPonts and the Carnegies, two different things. If you go back to these Epstein files and what a lot of these guys like Harvey Weinstein was saying about Jay-Z, you're not a DuPont, you're a DuBois. The DuPonts don't get heat because the DuPonts know to shut the fuck up and make their money. They don't have a catalog of albums talking about how much money they got. They don't recite, oh, I'm a billionaire. Nobody even knows how much the DuPonts, the Vanderbilts, nobody even know how much they worth. Why? Because they don't publish it. Those kind of legacy money like that pays to keep their name out of Forbes. So you can't compare yourself. And second of all, you're not wealthy. You're not that. You're not that. Those robber barons are another level of wealth than anybody we know. And for those who do pay attention to the DuPonts and the Vanderbilts and old money, they are the subject of ire. No one who pays attention. Michael Jackson had words for the DuPonts. Go back to the song, the same year Reasonable Doubt dropped, 1996. Go back to the song Money by Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson had major heat for the DuPonts. He mentioned them by name in this song.
Money.
Where he's actually rapping.
It's all absurd. They don't care. They kill for the money. Do it there. The thrill for the money. You're saluting the flag. Your country trusts you. Now you're wearing a badge. You're called the...
If you go back to the vamp, the last 30 seconds of that song, go back and pull up the song Money by Michael Jackson and put some really good headphones on. Put some really good headphones on on the song. And at this part, go to that part. You will hear Michael Jackson whispering, they will kill you. They have no root. He said, and he started mentioning name. He mentions in the song, he whispers Donald Trump. He said Trump by name in 96, 30 years ago. Watch out for these niggas. He said, watch out for Trump. He said, watch out for the DuPonts. Watch out for the Rockefellers. Watch out for the Vanderbilts. And watch out for these robber barons that steal from you. So yeah, our real Black American artists, the ones who care about us as a culture, they told us about the Vanderbilts. Jay-Z, like I've said before, he impresses people that don't understand our the vastness of Black American music history. Long live Michael Jackson and Prince. Appreciate that, Aerial Smoke. But go back to the song Money by Michael Jackson on the Dangerous album. I'm not Dangerous, on the History album. He calls the DuPonts and those robber barons out by name. Now let's go back to this part. But you gotta put some headphones on and listen real close. If you got cheap ass headphones, forget it, because he whispers them real low. You gotta really listen. The last 45 seconds, minute of that song, he's dropping names.
The ways that you put on, the ways that you try to protect and move forward, but kind of the pushback that you get sometimes about like people throw capitalists at you in a derogatory sense.
Yeah, I think in that verse specifically, the only thing I heard coming up was the American dream until we started being successful. And it was like, wait a minute, you're selling out because you're making money. That was the first thing that was put on musicians. People had this law for the struggling artists. That's a mind game. Well,
I can't necessarily say that, because Chess Records was known as Cadillac Records. And when artists like Muddy Waters showed their money, Black people, for the most part, liked it. We do have haters like everybody else, but we tend to be pretty, happy for our successful ones. We were very happy for James Brown. One of the mass appeals of the father of hip hop, James Brown, one of the things that made James Brown so appealing was the fact that he owned a radio station, he owned a jet, he owned his own record label. My dad raised me, he raised me on James Brown. And my dad would always be like, yeah, man, before the white boy got to him with them taxes, James Brown he was one of the first Black men with a jet. That was something that Black people were proud of James Brown. We were proud of James Brown for having a jet. We were proud of James Brown for owning a record label. We were proud of James Brown. We were very, very proud of James Brown. Here's the difference. When James Brown got his money and he rapped, he didn't brag about it. He didn't say, oh, I'm just motivating you. No, he taught you how to get it. When James Brown dropped that, people, we gotta get over it before we go under.
People, gotta get over before we go under.
We. James Brown didn't talk about, I have this, you have that. He wrote this song after he bought his jet. This song comes out, James Brown owns a jet, he owns his own record label, he owns his own radio station, he owns his own printing press where he can print his own records. And instead of saying, I got this, you got that, people, we got to get over before we go under. This is why James Brown wasn't hated on. It came down to how he used his wealth. Black people aren't stupid. We love you, but if you pull your fucking dick out and piss on us and call it his rain, then no, we're gonna have something to say. Listen to what he says right here. Let's get together and get some land. Raise our food just like the man. Save our money like the mob. They got it wrong here. Save our money like the mob. It's supposed to say mob right here. Put up the factory and own the job. This is what James Brown said when he got rich. He said, like the man. Save our money.
Save our money like the mob.
Save our money like the mob.
Put up the factory and own the job.
Put up the factory and own the job. Those were the original days of rap. Black people had absolutely no issue with James Brown being wealthy. Why? Because this is what James Brown did with his pen after he got the money. He used his pen to show us how to get it ourselves too. Not say, I got this and you got that. Feel the speech you still in here? That's motivation right there. That's motivation. You compare Funky President to 30s and New 20, and you see the difference between high level lyrics and bullshit. I'm proving my case because I know it's gonna be a lot. I know it's a lot of Jay-Z lovers that can't take this kind of stuff. So I'm proving my case with evidence, with music. And you can feel however you want to feel about it. Let's keep going.
We would call back in the day for technology. It was like, no, I'm not going for that. Like, no, I make art first. And then I make sure that I'm compensated for my art.
Well, let's go back to that part.
This at you in a derogatory sense.
Yeah, I think in that verse specifically, the only thing I heard coming up was the American dream until we started being successful. And it was like, wait a minute, you're selling out because you're making money.
Now, I will say this. There was somebody that did take bullets for getting a lot of money. And it wasn't you, Jay-Z, because you came in the shiny suit era, you and Puffy. Puffy kind of broke those barriers down for you too, Jay, what they had going over at Bad Boy. Remember, wasn't nobody listening to you when Reasonable Doubt came out. But the person that took the most heat was MC Hammer. MC Hammer was legitimately hated on because rap at the time was very cautious about selling out to the mainstream. Hip hop before 1994 protected itself from being sold out. Hip hop was about, because in hip hop, that first and second generation saw what happened to R&B when R&B sold out. They saw what happened to the rock stars when they sold out. They saw what happened whenever our stuff goes to the corporations. It takes the message out, it takes the soul out, and it removes the culture. That was the fear of going corporate, is that you about to give these people access to our art. And you heard that concern from Ice Cube. This is the sort of Ice Cube responding to MC Hammer, because MC Hammer was the first one to go international with the commercial. He was the first person to get brand deals. When Run DMC did My Adidas, they didn't pay Run DMC shit. MC Hammer was the one that got the brand deals. If you go listen to Truth to the Game, you will hear Ice Cube call Jay-Z out before we even know who Jay-Z is. Remember this part? That was a concern, giving our music away to the mainstream. Don't you know that they ain't down with the team? They just sent their boss over, put a bug in your ear, and now you crossed over. Ain't that what happened to Jay-Z with Dame? Chat room. This was written in 1991, but did this not happen 5 years later between Jay and Dame?
Put a bug in your ear, and now you're crossed over.
That was the concern. It wasn't necessarily that you're rich. You being rich wasn't the concern as much as one of them Leo Cohen's, Clyde Davis's, Jerry Heller. The concern was them putting a bug in your ear, and now you crossover on MTV, but they don't care. They'll have a new nigga next year. Go back and listen to Truth to the Game, and you ask yourself if that wasn't a motherfucking prophecy. Jay-Z wants to be the king of the slums. Like you said, less is more, plenty of us. Nothing like what James Brown messaged. Rap false prophets. Right. Real talk. Real talk, TGZ. But you see that? That was the concern. We talking about Jay-Z rewriting hip hop, y'all. Make sure y'all spread this message and hit the share button. Let people know we live. Christopher Ellis said he's trying to be the 19 keys of hip hop. I've always seen a close connection between 19 Keys and Jay-Z. Great marketing. It sounds good, but they ain't talking about shit. But his marketing and package hella good though. The marketing and the packaging's amazing. So you listen. Then you listen a little closer and you be like, man, that nigga ain't saying shit. Nah, Jay-Z, they didn't call you a sellout because you're making money. Listen to this part.
Money. That was the first thing that was put on musicians. People, we started being successful. And it was like, wait a minute, you're selling out because you're making money. That was the first thing that was put on musicians. People had this law for the struggling artists. That's a mind game. What we would call back in.
No. If we wanted our artists to struggle, then why did Motown, those artists, come out in the cleanest of suits? Why did they, like, we loved seeing, look, he wasn't tripping on seeing nobody with money. We were not tripping on seeing anybody with money. Not at all. Who remembers this? Flash has always been a part of our music. But Flash always came with a lesson. Like Johnny Guitar Watson. Who remember this album? Well, y'all probably don't remember, but this is the album cover for Johnny Guitar Watson's A Real Mother For You. He even had a goddamn, it was always some flashy nigga shit going on in our music, man. We ain't never tripped on nobody having money. Nigga, before hip hop, during hip hop, after hip hop, we were just concerned about you selling us out. Isaac Hayes was coming with the chains in 1969. Nigga, what? This is 1969. We wasn't tripping on nobody with no goddamn money. The fuck is you talking about? Again, this is Jay-Z rewriting history, and I'm having this broadcast today because it's a whole lot of Jay-Z dick lickers that's just gonna go ahead and be like, oh, who said it? So they happened. No. We gotta bring the history back. Barry White, all of them. Wasn't nobody tripping on the artist's money. Wasn't nobody tripping on Michael Jackson's money. Wasn't nobody tripping on Prince's money. We love Sam Cooke because Sam Cooke owned his own shit. That was one of the major appeals of Sam Cooke. This dude's trying to rewrite history. Let's keep going.
They for technology. It's like, no, I'm not going for that. Like, no, I make art first. And then I make sure that I'm compensated for my art. I didn't take advantage. I didn't get here by taking advantage of people. I didn't take it. No one. That's not my reputation.
I gotta hear that again. Did he just say he didn't take it? His reputation isn't taking advantage of nobody. He didn't take advantage of state property. He didn't take advantage of Damon Dash. He didn't. I gotta hear that again.
Like, no, I make art first, and then I make sure that I'm compensated for my art. I didn't take advantage. I didn't get here by taking advantage of people. I didn't take it. No one. No one. That's not my reputation. That's not what I do. Say that for my art. I didn't take advantage. I didn't get here by taking advantage of people. I ain't taking no one. No one. That's not my reputation. That's not what I do.
Rest in peace, DMX. You weren't the head of Def Jam when LL Cool J had a send-off. You weren't one of the people in the room when y'all didn't give LL Cool J his proper send-off. James Dame Dash literally said, I remember the story Dame Dash said. Dame Dash said that when he went to go sell Rockefeller, all Jay-Z had to do was say nothing, and he had money to sell Rockefeller. When Jay-Z knew that Dame was going to sell Rockefeller, he made the announcement that he left Rockefeller and left Dame Dash holding the bag. Dame has been talking about for years, and Jay-Z hasn't sued him the way he did Tony Busby. You see, well, that's Tony Busby. Tony Busby was lying. Dame Dash lost what? 2 defamation cases over that movie, but none involving Jay-Z. So you just been letting Dame Dash lie like that, and you ain't did nothing? Air Smoke said, ripped to the top of Dame Dash's teeth. What are we talking about here? What up, Kay? What are we talking about here? This is Jay-Z trying to retell history right in your black ass face. See, this isn't for us that know. Jay-Z has gotten to a point where he's most famous for circles outside of hip hop. So the majority of these people who who throw Jay-Z's name around all the time, these people aren't hip hop. These are people who are into whatever is hot. This interview is for those people. This interview ain't for people who know. This interview ain't for people over 40 who've been paying attention the whole time. If you over 40, been paying attention to everything the whole time, this interview ain't for you. This interview is for his stands and the people who really don't fuck with hip hop, who really don't know the details. The people who only know Dame Dash as a guy whose teeth fell out on camera. This interview is for them.
I didn't get here by taking advantage of people or taking advantage of, the loopholes in the system or something.
Remember when Dame Dash was gonna put like part of his stuff that when he originally was gonna sell his third of the catalog and Jay-Z blocked it? Who remembers that? Before this last fumbled sale that they had. This like around the time of the pandemic. Dame was gonna sell part of his and Jay-Z blocked it.
Some wrinkle in like a capitalist structure. That structure exists, and I just see the world for what it is, not for what I want it to be. I'm a realist, not an ideal. It's not idealistic. People speak about the world how they want to see it. You're never gonna win like that.
You said something just now though about you pushing independence, right? Kind of like in the spirit of Prince. When you embody that, do you feel like you are kind of setting a mold or leading a charge?
He said pushing independence in the spirit of Prince. Remember, Prince had major issues with Tidal and Jay-Z before he died. Prince had major issues with Tidal and Jay-Z before he died. Because Prince took his music over to Tidal and thought one thing. He said Jay-Z told him one thing. And then once Prince was over there at Tidal, it was something totally different than what Jay-Z told him. So will Prince be okay with Jay-Z bringing up his name if Prince was still alive? See, Prince isn't alive to speak for himself. But go back to the last year of Prince's life, 2015. He had major issues with Tidal and Jay-Z. Hell, Nicki Minaj had major issues with Jay-Z. That's why, in her music, that's why she's been going so hard on this nigga. So you did Prince Grimy, and now you over here talking and trying to equate your movement to Prince. Not cool.
That's day.
Yeah.
That's day. And it actually goes beyond color.
Yeah.
Because I've encountered that a lot.
Now when he talks about color, notice as a black man, you're not gonna get anything to talk about color around Jay-Z and what we really going on. Listen to the context on how Jay-Z brings up color. When he does talk about race, listen to Jay-Z talk about race right here.
Keep us in a position of using words like allow. So anyone that's culpable in creating the system that we operate under, that's they.
Yeah.
That's they. And it actually goes beyond color.
It goes beyond color. Andre Miller said Jay-Z didn't even mention Prince here. Hit the rewind button and find out how wrong you are, all right? Just hit the rewind. We're not gonna go back for you. Go back up 2 minutes and eat your words, brother. No disrespect. But listen to this part.
Operate under, that's they.
Yeah.
That's they. And it actually goes beyond color.
Yeah.
Because I've encountered that a lot. I've encountered that a lot where it was just like, okay, this successful black man make it. Let me go to him.
Yeah.
And for help. And they're like, you don't fuck with no rap shit.
Oh wow.
Not like out like that, but
Yeah.
you know,
That's the energy.
like the energy. It's like you see the energy.
Yeah.
You know?
So you want to go to a black man who didn't fuck with no rap shit. What's wrong with that? A lot of people don't fuck with rap. So you go right to the black person that don't fuck with rap shit. But what about what you did with Dame Dash though? You had a black man that put you in the door. Dame Dash created the opportunity for you. And look at what he did to Jay. Listen to this. Let's go back to how listen to how he talks about race. If you know what he did to to Dame Dash, how can you listen to this shit with a straight face?
Creating the system that we operate under, that's they.
Yeah.
That's they. And it actually goes beyond color.
Yeah.
Because I've encountered that a lot. I've encountered that a lot where it was just like, okay, this successful black man make it. Let me go to him.
Yeah.
And for help. And they're like, you don't fuck with no rap shit.
Oh wow.
Not like out like that, but
Yeah.
you know,
That's the energy.
like the energy. It's like you see the energy.
Yeah.
But what about Dame Dash though? It was a black man that created the opportunity for you. None of those white folks wanted you. It was before Dame Dash, it was Big Daddy Kane. Big Daddy Kane talked about how he shopped Jay-Z around for a long time. And nobody wanted him. Let me see if I can find that part. Let me see if I can find that. Let me see if I can find that part. I want to play that for you. Okay, I think I just found it.
Hit first thing he said, become this? No. I mean, it's crazy because see, there's one thing about Jay that I didn't really understand until much later, because Paz would be in the room or in the studio and very much involved. Sauce Money would be in the room or in the studio, mention it. Oh yeah, you real funny dude the way you did such and such. He noticed everything, so he was sitting there studying, and I think that attributes the fact that at that point in time, that's when Jay-Z was doing that that real fast rapping stuff.
Yeah.
That was a fad in hip hop, and it didn't last long. You know what I'm saying? So had he came out doing that, he may have been successful for a year or two,
Right.
and then he would have faded out with that style. He came out the right time, talking about the right stuff, doing the right thing, and he ended up having amazing stay power.
Right.
So I'm glad I couldn't get him a deal. I think that what he did years later with Dame Dash and Irv Gotti and whoever else, that's what was supposed to happen, and I'm so happy for him to see him be successful.
So Jay-Z was in an ecosystem of black men that got him to where he got. But the one time in this whole interview he brings up race, he talks about a black man being against him without ever showing love to the black man that helped get him there. What makes this dude any different than these tethers that we talk about? I told y'all before, Jay-Z is the king of tethers. Although I do believe he's FBA, Jay-Z laid the mold down for success for tethers. You saw Kane say he came in, what's the tether mold? Come in the door, pay attention to see who's hot, mimic who's hot, use who's hot, and once they're done, on to the next one that's hot. And then when you've done that enough, when you've discarded enough people on the way to the top, act like you're the only one that got yourself there. What makes him different than any tether or Elvis? What makes him different than Elvis? This nigga's Elvis. This nigga's Elvis. This nigga is straight up Elvis. Hey, Mike Legacy TV, if you think I'm hating on New York, then get the fuck out of here. I'm making clear arguments, and this nigga talking about some hating on New York. I ain't say a goddamn thing about New York. Talking about Jay-Z. How dare you say that one? As much as I love Tribe Called Quest, as much as I love Nas, as much as I love LL Cool J, as much as I love all these people, and you talking about I'm hating on New York, get the fuck out of here, because you stupid. Now let's get back to it. Now he goes into talking about the Super Bowl. Let's skip ahead till we start talking about the Super Bowl. Hey, if anybody in here, I ain't mentioned New York not one goddamn time. If anybody want to come in here and make this a New York thing, let me tell you right now, you can suck a dirty dog's dick. I'm not gonna change what I'm saying because you an emotional asshole. Fuck you. Eric Smoke says Jay and Drake are the same archetype. Right. They're both the same archetype. What's up, Kendall? Yeah, hit the likes. Hit the like button, y'all. We got 500 people in here, only 250 likes. Hit the like button, y'all. Hit the like button. Yeah, I thought, Jay-Z is full FBI. I'm pretty sure he is. Like, I've been seeing people saying he's not. No, I think he's fine. I don't know his family, but I'm like 99% sure he's full FBA. Yeah, I can't. The Star Child said they're all crying over the chat. Yeah, let them cry. I have absolutely feel no kind of no way about a crying ass nigga. Now Jay-Z and Drake are the same thing. How are Jay-Z and Drake the same? They're both mimics. They're both mimic artists. They both knew how to, Jay-Z set the mold on Drake's success. Jay-Z knew how to go to Philadelphia when Philadelphia was hot, take their sound, absorb their sound, and when he's done with their sound, push him off. Oh, now we got a new cat over here in Chicago, Kanye. I'm gonna take that sound and I'm gonna absorb that sound. He knows how to go region to region to absorb sounds. And Jay-Z's talent comes in once he sees what you're doing. Since he's a great artist, great performer. Well, regular average performer, great in the studio. He has great delivery. Since his delivery is a 10, he can take what you do and he'll probably deliver it better than you because he's that good at delivery. His talent is delivery, not originality. Drake delivers, but Drake that mode is what Drake used to jump around Houston to New Orleans to Atlanta and jump around to Memphis. Whatever's hot, I'm going to look at and I'm going to study you and I'm going to mimic you. And since I have a direct line to the boss, Jay-Z had a direct line to Leroy Cohen. Leroy Cohen was one of the most powerful men in music. You got a direct line on Leroy Cohen. Drake had a direct line to what's his name? Lucian Grange. They're going to use that direct line to take what's hot, mimic it, and take it right to the top because they have the direct plug with the people in distribution. Yeah, supreme in the art of mimicry. Right. Some of these niggas are retarded, so they don't see that. But let's go.
In order for me to move forward, I got to get this shit out. I got to get it out.
When we're talking about putting on for the culture, what does it mean to you to be at the helm of a cultural event so important as the Super Bowl?
I think everyone should experience music in its totality.
Okay, so if that's true, what about Jermaine Dupri? It's funny how he's talking about the Super Bowl, but no part in the Super Bowl part that they talking are they gonna mention him discouraging Jermaine Dupri from taking that job.
For a lot of years, it was only one side of music that was being represented.
Yeah.
And we got the opportunity to create a more balanced idea of what popular music is today.
Yeah.
I'm not going out on a limb. It's the most famous people in the world.
Statistically supported.
It's like I'm not like I didn't pick like the indie artist that I really like from Portland. The #1 streamed artist in the world. Him.
It's crazy that I think last year was.
And he picked Kendrick, you know, but why didn't they bring up Bad Bunny? Kendrick was 2 years ago. Bad Bunny was like last month. Why do you bring up Bad Bunny? The Kendrick part was obvious, you know all of that was happening, especially after the pop out. You saw what Kendrick did with the pop out. Was not so obvious as picking somebody that spoke Spanish. I really want to know what went into Jay-Z's mindset for picking Bad Bunny. And what about black people kneeling? What about black people protesting the Super Bowl and protesting the NFL at that time? A lot of black Colin Kaepernick. Why didn't you bring up Colin Kaepernick when it came to the Super Bowl? It's just so many holes. You didn't bring up Colin Kaepernick. Didn't bring up Jermaine Dupri. You didn't bring up the social climate of Black America at the time. Of our boycott. You know who Jay-Z is? Jay-Z is Jamal Bryant. What's the difference between Jay-Z saying "Go back, we done kneeling," and Jamal Bryant ending the Target boycott? Jay-Z and Jamal Bryant, they're the same thing. Y'all don't see that? Let's get this well-dressed nigga and pay him a lot of money to lead these niggas where they don't need to be. What's the difference between Jay-Z in the Super Bowl and Jamal Bryant? Al Sharpton. What's the difference between Jay-Z and Al Sharpton? Outside of the perm. They both got stupid looking ass hair. What's the difference between Jay-Z and Al Sharpton? I'll let you guys answer that. Air Smoke says, I tried to get that Super Bowl as a fan of Mahomes. The athlete toupee died that day. What's the difference between him and Al Sharpton? That's what I want to figure out. See, when I'm done with it, because I've been playing some Jay-Z snippets, hell, I might listen to some Jay-Z when I'm done, because the man still made some dope music. I ain't saying he didn't make dope music. I'm just saying you got to be able to differentiate between somebody who made dope music and the person. Let's keep going.
To now.
As a spectator,
Yeah.
what did you think of the 2024 back and forth between him and Drake?
I'm gonna have an answer you're not gonna like.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if you're gonna like that. That's presumptuous. I think that, look, there was 4 pillars of hip hop. There are 4 pillars of hip hop, right?
Yep.
There are 5 pillars of hip hop. And what? Pay attention. First off, he doesn't. Oh, I'll let you hear which one he leaves out. 2, he renames the 4th pillar. He gives us a fake 4th pillar of hip hop and totally renames the 5th pillar. Listen to this shit.
Breakdancing.
Yep.
And it's graffiti.
Yep.
There's DJing and battling.
Yep.
Break dance is not at the forefront of rapping.
And I've said this argument I made before about the pillars of hip hop. Breakdancing is not the forefront, neither is DJing. But he said battling. Battling is not one of the pillars of hip hop. Battling is within the MC, is under the umbrella of the MC within hip hop. It's also under the umbrella of DJing. It's also under the umbrella of breaking. The battle part covers all of the elements, but it's not an element within itself. It is ingrained within the MCing. The battling is ingrained within the DJing. The battling is ingrained within breakdancing, but it's not its own pillar. The pillars of MCing, and I don't even like using hip hop pillars. I'm just going with it because the hip hop pillars are stupid because they're the only one that's left is rap. MCing, DJing, breaking, graffiti, and what's the fifth one? Knowledge. Y'all notice Jay-Z left out one of the most important elements of hip-hop, and that's the knowledge. Why did he leave out the part about the knowledge? Oh, because he told you having not getting good credit until you're 30 is part of the knowledge. Let me talk to y'all young black folks real quick. This don't go to the people whose mama fucked up your credit. I used to work with kids. I saw a lot of parents fuck up kids' credit. I ain't talking to y'all. I'm talking to everybody whose credit wasn't fucked up by their mama putting shit in their name. For everybody else that started at a clean slate at 18, you should have good credit by the time you're 20. Yes. Fuck all this lowering the bar shit. You take out a credit card for $500. You make minimum, you make your payments, and you make them on time. Matter of fact, make your payments 10 days before they're due. It's not hard to have good credit. Get a secure card, $200 card. Don't buy no concert tickets with it. Buy essentials. Pay the bill 10 days before it's due, and you'll be in the 7s by the time you're 20. You'll be in the 8s by the time you're 22, like I was. Don't be a nigga in his 30s bragging about just now. And if your credit is just getting good in your 30s, cool. Salute to you. I'm glad you're there. But it ain't nothing to brag about. You're shooting par for the course, okay? What's up, Ebony?
Anymore. It's actually an Olympics sport.
Let's get in talking about him. Just going back to these elements again.
But Nancy, you're not gonna like.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if you're gonna like. That's presumptuous. I think that look, there was 4 pillars of hip hop. There are 4 pillars of hip hop, right?
Yep.
There's breakdancing,
Yep.
and it's graffiti.
Yep.
There's DJing and battling.
Yep.
Break dance is not at the forefront of rap anymore. It's actually an Olympics sport. So that's dead.
True.
Graffiti,
Yeah.
beautiful, in certain places.
Yeah.
And even in major art and like Keith Haring
Yeah. Yeah.
and Basquiat, actually, the street artists,
Yep.
took
They
it.
never bring up Pedro Bell. Hip hop got so much of his hip hop graffiti, not from no goddamn Basquiat, but from Pedro Bell out of Philadelphia. The black man who made all the Funkadelic album covers. The one that made the Parliament logo. Pedro Bell. What about Pedro Bell? Hip hop never really give love to its real innovators. You only giving love to Basquiat because of your hair, nigga.
It to a next level. It's not part of hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
DJing. The DJ was in the forefront. It was Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince.
Right. Yeah.
Eric B. and Rakim.
Yeah.
You don't even know the DJ for half of the artists anymore. Who's Drake DJ? I have no idea. Okay.
Couldn't tell you off top.
That no longer exists. And the last pillar is battling. We love the excitement. And I love
The
the
last pillar is battling. When chat room, I know battling has always been ingrained within hip hop, but when did it become its own pillar? When did battling become its own pillar of hip hop? This nigga don't even know the pillars of hip hop. And mind you, this wasn't a live interview. This was edited.
Couldn't tell you off top.
that no longer exists. And the last pillar is battling. We love the excitement. And I love the sparring and the music you get.
Mm-hmm.
But in this day and age, it's so much negative stuff that comes with it. They almost wish it didn't happen.
Really?
Yeah, because it's almost like it's a final thing. Now people that like Kendrick hate Drake.
Yeah.
No matter what he makes, no matter what he says, and it goes far too. It's like attack on his character and his thing and it's like, I don't know if I love that.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't
People
know if
who like Kendrick hate Drake. That's not true. Now, people like Kendrick, we've always seen through Drake. I can't say we, me. I saw through Drake the first time when he first came, so never a hate. If it was about the Kendrick people hating Drake, Drake just dropped a whole album this time last year, Some Sissy Songs for You. Kendrick fans cannot hate Drake enough for Drake fans to not bump that album. Why didn't Some Sissy Songs for You stay on the Billboard charts for a year? Drake got so much love from his fan base. That album came in and went. That has nothing to do with Kendrick fans hating. It has a lot to do with Kendrick doing a great job of blowing the cool factor away from Drake. But I'm gonna write an article y'all about to get a new article from me on instanceandashtrays.com. It's like all these niggas everybody has to come out and coddle for Drake. I don't get that. Yeah, I think it's because Jay-Z sees himself in Drake the way Nas did him. Nas turned the word ether into a term. Like, everyone knows what ether now just means I'm gonna destroy you because of what he did to Jay-Z. I think that's Jay-Z feeling the effects of what Nas laid on his ass. Samurai Cam, I appreciate the super chat. Sean Williams says beatboxing is one of the pillars of hip hop. It's not one of the pillars, but beatboxing was one of the parts of hip hop back in the day. Appreciate the super chat. I started hating Aubrey around 2018. Aerial smoke. But y'all hear that? Let me go back just a little bit.
People that like Kendrick hate Drake.
Yeah.
No matter what he makes, no matter what he says, and it goes far too. It's like attack on his character and his thing, and it's like, I don't know if I love that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's helpful to our growth. Where the fallout.
You buying an arena, you calling yourself the owner of a team for 0.1111000000%. That wasn't helpful to our growth. That wasn't helpful to our growth either. But you said, hey, I won. Okay.
Out lands,
Mm-hmm.
especially on on social media, which takes place every day.
Yeah.
And now you have these pods of cult.
The Stan armies fighting.
Yeah, and it's like, it's too far.
Yeah.
It's like bringing kids in it.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't like that. Maybe I've grown in a space that is probably, I sound like the old guy wagging the finger. But I think we can.
Where was all of this concern for Meek Mill? And y'all know me, I don't even like Meek Mill either. That's a king of cap, Meek Mill. But fair is fair. Where was all this concern when Meek Mill was the one that was embarrassed? Where were all these think pieces on the results of battle rap when Meek Mill lost? That's the question. Twitter was around back then. Instagram was around back then. YouTube was around back then. All of these things on the internet that we are enjoying today, most of what we are on the internet using for the Drake Kendrick battle, all of these things were also around during the Meek Mill Drake battle. Where was this for Meek? Don't ever let people say that, oh, it's a new day. No. It's the same day as then. Technology ain't moving that fast anymore. This ain't from the 70s to the 80s, 80s to the 90s, 90s to the 2000s. No. Technology ain't moving that fast no more. We got Twitter, what, 2007, 8? We got Instagram in 2010, 9? Facebook 2000, I signed up for Facebook 2003 when it was for college students only. YouTube 2006. We're still using these are still the primary means of communication. And they were around for Meek and Drake. But nobody had this kind of heat when Drake was the one that won. Let's keep going.
Achieve the same thing as far as like sparring with music, with collaborations more so than breaking the whole thing apart.
Yeah.
It could stand it before because there was no social media and there was no thing, and you had the battle and it was fun, and then you moved on.
Right.
There was no social media. What decade are you in, sir? It wasn't no social media with like Rick Ross going at it with Game. Remember 2024? It was a lot of phase happening in 2024, man. Future and Drake, the BBL Drizzy song, what's his name? Metro Boomin. You had Rick Ross going at Game. You had Game going at Eminem before that. Hip hop has never stopped battle culture. Every year there's a hip hop battle. Every year. Hell, last year you even had Joey Badass versus Ray Vaughn. What world is this dude talking about? You're right. Star Child Drake was going after everybody in his lyrics. Drake was going after everybody. What happened was Kendrick's song, he just knocked it out the park. People like acting as if, okay, you had Cube versus NWA, and then you jump to Tupac and Biggie, and then you jump to Game falling out with G Unit, and then Not Like Us. What is he talking about? The only difference between Drake and Kendrick was these were higher profile artists than the other artists that got in the battles. And Kendrick's song was his 5 songs were so on point, it changed the momentum of music. Kendrick told Drake, don't bring families into this. Let's have a fair fade. Let's make this a fade fair. Remember Kendrick said that? Don't tell no lies about me, and I won't tell no truths about you. Warning shot. We can fade fair. Drake still took those shots. Why is everyone trying to act like Drake is the good guy? Why are y'all rewriting history? We can go back, listen to the music, and listen to the time. Read the timestamp. Oh, this was put out March 23rd. That was put out April 1st. That was put out April 15th. We can read the timeline and chain of events. It wasn't that long ago. Yeah, Drake and what's his name? J. Cole. J. Cole had 10 years of sneak disses. Drake had 10 years of sneak disses. And they got their asses handed to them. I think, and I'm going to talk about this in my article, I really do think, and I don't even like bringing this up, subconsciously, especially when it comes to the coon contingent, and Jay-Z's definitely on that side of the coon contingent, people have an issue with this dark-skinned black man roasting the shit out them half-white boys. It's like the meritorious manumission inside of niggas go right into saving white daddy when you see that black-ass nigga coming in and running through these hoes. Look at what that little short black man did. I think that's remnants of colorism in the way people coddle and protect Drake. Drake is too close to white daddy for a lot of these niggas. I said it. Drake is too close to white daddy for a lot of these niggas. And how dare that dark-skinned nigga come in and expose you? Yeah, Biz Markie, Dougie Fresh, and Fat Boys used to beatbox back in the day. They did beatbox back in the day, but it was never a pillar. They did beatbox, so a lot of people beatbox back in the day, but it was never a pillar, my brother. But it was definitely a fun part of hip hop. But I really do think that's part of it. I think people have an issue seeing this dark nigga go in. I really feel that way.
Right.
Right now, I don't know if it could stand it with the technology that we have.
Because it takes up so much oxygen.
It takes up so much oxygen.
Yeah.
And now it's just like every day they're just trying
They're
to
still talking about it.
It's not just talking about it. Not like, yo, this song, I like this.
Yeah.
No, it's like trying to tear down the people's life.
Yeah.
It's like trying to,
Music.
just everything around it was just like, man, it's it. Again, I love the idea that we got so much music in such a short period of time.
Great music.
Just everything around it was just like, man, it's like taking us a couple steps back,
Yeah.
and we just grown so much that
All
I
right,
don't.
Ariel Smo, you have a good one. He said it's taking us a couple steps back. How did the battle take us a couple steps back? One thing the battle did, the battle made people afraid to release music because the battle exposed the bullshit music that's been released in hip hop. That battle, in a lot of ways, gave hip hop another lifeline. The Drake Kendrick battle made people start rapping again. It made people start trying to say something with their lyrics again. It made people want to start using their skills again. The battle exposed the huff and puff, bullshit, saying nothing ass style of hip hop. That's what the battle did. The battle shined a light on the bullshit in hip hop. Let's listen to this part again.
Music.
Just everything around it was just like, man, it's like taking us a couple steps back,
Yeah.
and we just grown so much that I don't know if, I guess I'm gonna say it, I don't know if battling needs to be part of the culture anymore.
Interesting.
That part right there, and this is why I had today's review, ladies and gentlemen. This part right here. Listen to this part again. Turn y'all speakers up real quick. I want y'all to hear this very clear. Turn your speakers up 5 notches, and I'm going to shut up. 1, 2. Turn them up.
I guess I'm gonna say it. I don't know if battling needs to be part of the culture anymore.
Interesting.
I hate that I have this point of view. I do.
I don't. Don't that nigga sound, man, that nigga sound moist as hell. What? This right here, if you don't listen to anything else that I say, fuck this nigga for trying to change the culture. Black American culture, the battle culture within our music, has been around as long as we've had a music. And it's a core, essential piece of our music because battling has always shown us who's the real from the fake. Battles have always proven the real from the fake. Battles have always proven the real from the fake. Battles have always proven the real from the fake. Battles have always proven and shown the real from fake. Battles have always shown that. Battling is a core, essential piece of our music. Because when we like two things, it's the battle that's going to show us which is which. The fuck you mean take battling out the culture? How in the hell are we going to determine what's what if we don't battle it out? Drake been giving us that sorry Sausage Fest music for 15 years and everybody was cool with it until the battle came. When the battle came, what the battle does is cut the grass. And now you can see where the rocks and the snakes are. That's what the battle does. The real from the fake. Let's go down history lane real quick. Let's go down history lane. Let's go down history lane. It was the battle, I think the year was 1934, 35. Swing was the sound of America. Count Basie, Jimmy Lunsford, Duke Ellington, and the man whose face was the sound of swing in America was Benny Goodman. This was the king of swing. Benny Goodman was the Drake of his day. Benny Goodman was the Drake of his day. He was the person that they labeled the king of swing. Let me get these images up. Benny Goodman was labeled the king of swing. Well, battle culture required, if you were going to be swinging, battle culture meant you had to go to New York, and if you were the king of swing, you had to battle Chick Webb. And this was a battle that everyone was looking forward to. One thing that made Benny Goodman so great and that made his music sound so amazing and wonderful was he didn't write his own rhymes, meaning he didn't compose his own music. He was just like Drake back in the day. He did not make his own music. The person that made Benny Goodman's music was Fletcher Henderson. Fletcher Henderson is a music titan because it was Fletcher Henderson that created the modern setup for the big band. If you ever go look at big band jazz now, you see the woodwinds on the first row, the brass on the second row, and so on and so forth. It was Fletcher Henderson in the 1920s that created the arrangement, the bandstand for the big band. So big band swing, although those big band had been around, it was Fletcher Henderson that made the big band sound in the 1920s. Fletcher Henderson is who helped start the Harlem Renaissance. Well, when Benny Goodman came around, Benny Goodman hired Fletcher Henderson to be his music director. And it was Fletcher Henderson's compositions that put Benny Goodman to the top. Benny Goodman got all the radio play. Benny Goodman got known as the king of swing, all because of Fletcher Henderson's arrangements. So Benny Goodman thought he was the shit. So everyone was like, okay, Benny Goodman, if you're really the king of swing, you got to go down there to Harlem and you got to face Chick Webb and his band. And so Benny Goodman did that. Benny Goodman left and went down there to the Savoy Ballroom to go at Fletcher Henderson. I mean, to go at Chick Webb. And the story goes that night, Chick Webb's band picked up Benny Goodman's band and beat the dog shit out of them, like, bah! Like, every song was like, ugh. Every song, like, he picked up not Fletcher Henderson, he picked up Benny Goodman, not literally, but proverbially. Chick Webb's band was picking his band up and just knocking them niggas up. Picking them up and just, all you can, Sonic Boom. Every song was Sonic Boom. All you can. Every song, Mike Tyson just yaka. Like, yaka. Every song was yaka. Yaka. And it was that battle that showed everybody who was there to hear that Benny Goodman is not the king of swing. He's not even on the same level as Chick Webb. That was all marketing. That story happened almost 100 years ago. But the ass whooping was so bad that the story still lives almost 100 years later. But it was the battle that exposed the real from the fake. Same thing with Stride. Willie the Lion Smith, James P. Johnson. They used to go at it, boy. The father of Stride Piano was James P. Johnson. It was James P. Johnson. The face of Stride Piano, the most boisterous and loud, was Willie the Lion Smith. Willie the Lion Smith was a cold motherfucker. But Willie the Lion Smith battled James P. Johnson and lost. And Willie the Lion Smith said, I can beat everybody I could beat everybody. But that James P. Johnson, I can't fuck with him. I can't quite get him. He's like, I might, Willie the Lion Smith is on the right. He said, I might not be able to beat James P. Johnson in the piano, but I can beat him up in a fight. But it was Jelly Roll Morton, the mulatto from New Orleans, who was coming into New York thinking he's the hot shit. Jelly Roll Morton, you know, he's very well documented in the history of jazz. I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all have heard of Jelly Roll Morton, because Jelly Roll Morton did a great job of inserting himself in the history of jazz. A mulatto and slash Indian slash black. He went to New York and he battled Woody the Lion Smith. And Woody the Lion Smith waxed Jelly Roll Morton so bad, he renamed Jelly Roll Morton One Hand. And he sent Jelly Roll Morton packing, where Jelly Roll had to leave New York and move to LA. Because everybody saw, yeah, Jelly Roll, you got all the fame, you got all the notoriety, Jelly Roll Morton. But when he went in and he battled Woody the Lion Smith, people who were into stride, this is about 100 years ago, a little more than 100 years ago, they got to see who was the real from the fake. James Brown battled Joe Tex. Even wrote a song called You Can Have Her. He took Joe Tex's girl, and then Joe Tex wrote a song back to James Brown called You Can Have Her. What made the Four Tops and the Temptation was so great was that point in the show when they would battle each other. Barbershop quartets, battles. Churches, battle. Battle of the bands in the 70s. Battles tell you who is who. That is a core, essential component to black music, is the battle. It was the bebop battle that Miles Davis, when he was doing bebop in New York, he realized, man, I ain't got time, even though he could play bebop. Battles is what made Miles Davis change direction and create 4 new genres: modal, cool, electric, and fusion. But it was after those battles Miles Davis had in New York, he went on to create 4 new genres of jazz after realizing bebop wasn't his thing. Battles can be good. Battles can make you realize, although you're good at something, I might be better at that. Our music as Black American music has advanced because of the battle. The battle has always pushed our music forward. The battle has always pushed our music forward. The battle has always pushed our music forward. Now you got this jive ass nigga said we need to get rid of battling. Oh, hell no. Just because you lost to Nas? Hell, the battle is what got us to see that. The battle is the reason why we got to see Nas for what he really is. You're superior. Because remember, Jay-Z is who the labels chose. Jay-Z is Leo Cohen, head of YouTube right now, YouTube Music, formerly head of Island Def Jam and Def Jam. Jay-Z was chosen by the corporations. He had a very, very powerful man on his side. But it was the battle that showed us who's the real. We need the battle. Don't ever let some jive sucker with Basky out here tell you we need to get rid of battling. Hell no. Iron sharp as iron. And the battle is where we find out who's iron and who's plastic. This is what I meant by my title, Jay-Z Attempts to Rewrite History. And we probably gonna do it late. I got so many thoughts on this shit. We might do a late night live tonight, man. This shit got me pissed off. I think we gonna do it late. I know I promised y'all one last night, but I was too busy up writing the article. But Jay-Z don't speak for us. He doesn't speak for the culture anymore. Jay-Z's bought and sold, folks. Jay-Z does not speak for the culture anymore. And nobody who turns around and talks about getting rid of a key element of our culture, all because somebody who ain't even from our culture got hurt. Fuck Drake. I don't give a fuck if he got hurt. You green, you win. I'm tired of people participating in Black American culture, and when it don't go their way, you got a whole bunch of jive ass niggas that want to change the rules because an element of our culture didn't work for this person who didn't belong here in the first goddamn place. Fuck out of here. And how the fuck do boxers get ready for a bout if they don't spar? Right, Dodge J. That's not cool, black people. You shouldn't love an artist so much that you want that artist to then change the rules on how our culture has been operating for hundreds of years. The battle is a core component of our culture. In all forms of music. From instruments to slam poetry to roasting and stand-up comedy. That's what roasting is in comedy. Roasting is a battle. Who's gonna win? That's how we battle each other all goddamn day as black people. Then we get some goddamn Canadian to come in who ain't from our culture, get his ass whooped. Now we have to change our culture because a half white J. Cole backed out like a punk and a half white Drake got his ass tarnished. No, we don't need to stop no battle because these people who are halfway in our culture got their ass whooped. They should have jumped in with 2 feet. And no, I still don't. No, and I still see through. And I'm probably gonna review J. Cole's interview with Cam with Mace. I mean with Cam. When it comes out, I might review it. But he don't get a pass. Now we get to this last part. This is the wealth and morality part. This is where he talks about wealth and morality. Let's listen to this part real quick before we add up out of here.
Just doing things the right way, even when that comes to like attaining wealth and continuing to amass wealth. We're talking about B-sides. One of your illest lines to me is face to the ceiling, race to a billion, heaven on earth, will his wings still fit him? So like, what's the answer to that question? Is it a constant struggle to maintain?
Your morality defines who you are, right? It's not what you've attained. It's not a dollar amount that changes you.
Yeah.
Your morality defines who you are. So was it moral? So if we judge on morality, your relationship with Dame, going back to your relationship with Dame, was that moral? To undercut him when he's trying to sell the label after you left, was that moral? Bayou Classic is a huge event in New Orleans. Grambling versus Southern University battle. You're right. That Bayou Classic, right? The Battle of the Bands at the Bayou Classic, that defines black music right there. Battle of the Bands. Yeah, hit the Cash App, $ Dewan B1. Y'all heard Kendall. Let me see who sent me a Cash App so far. James, I appreciate the Cash App. Much love, much appreciation, James. Who else I got on the Cash App? AH. I appreciate the Cash App. Unique Organics, you gave me one yesterday. I didn't even see it at yesterday's show. Appreciate that. My bad. I didn't even say what's up yesterday. AH gave me a Cash App about an hour ago. My bad. I've been over here preaching. I ain't been looking at the Cash App. Make sure you hit the share button. But you talking about morality and we saw what you did with Dame? Morality? This is what would have been moral, Jay-Z. Let's listen to that moral part again.
Well, to maintain
Your morality defines who you are, right? It's not what you've attained.
So was it moral to shelve DMX? So you can get your music off. Was that moral? Was it moral for you to not give LL Cool J a grand send off from Def Jam? Was that not moral? That's when I was all the way off Jay-Z. I always thought Jay-Z's music was catchy, but y'all know my story. I ain't got to keep telling my story over and over again. I grew up in the 80s and the 90s, but I grew up with a foot in both eras. I grew up teaching myself how to play the drums to 70s music while listening to my music of my generation in the 90s when I wasn't playing the drums. When I wasn't playing drums, I was listening to DMX, I was listening to Nas, I was listening to Jay-Z, listening to Outkast, I listening to that, all that. DJ Quick, Battle Cat. That's where I was when I wasn't playing the drums. When I was playing the drums, I was Earth, and Fire, Ohio Players, Parliament. I'm not about to have these for sale pretty soon too on DewanB.com. Listening to Brick and Phazo and Smokey Robinson and Temptations, and so I was listening to both musics at the same time. Listening to both music at the same time. Pull out my Sega Genesis and listen to music instead of listening to the game. And I knew off top when Jay-Z came out with Hard Knock Life. I'm like, why is this nigga singing Annie? Excuse me, miss. 99 Problems. As I'm listening to, and I was never the biggest Biggie fan, so my point of view on Jay-Z's stolen lyrics almost have nothing to do with Biggie, even though he has like dozens upon dozens upon dozens upon dozens of stolen Biggie lines. Dozens. I didn't become more aware of the Biggie lines until later. Cause I'm a West Side and I wasn't that much into I like Biggie, but I wasn't that much into him. Like I didn't listen to Biggie outside of what I heard on the radio back then. So I didn't really know too many of the Biggie lines that he took. I knew everything else. Like when he said, I add a motherfucker so you ignorant niggas can hear me. I'm like, and that's exactly why the score sold more than Reasonable Doubt in 1996. Because Lauryn Hill said it first. On the song, Another MC Loses Life. Yeah. Oh, I forgot the name of that song. So I knew that's how I felt about Jay-Z off top. It was 2009, 10, whenever that was, when I saw how he allowed LL Cool J to get done and not getting that grand send-off after LL Cool J basically built Def Jam. I said, oh, this nigga's a sucker. You do that to DMX and the J's and to LL? I was like, man, this nigga's a sucker.
Well, to maintain
Your morality defines who you are.
Yeah, zealot.
Right? It's not what you've attained. It's not a dollar amount that changes you.
Yeah.
And if so, what is that dollar amount? When does it start? Is it 100,000? Is it 150? Like at what point, if it's a cutoff, if it's like all millionaires are bad.
Yeah.
Okay. So at 999,000, I'm good. It can't be that way.
Look at what he's doing. He's trying to change his morality argument because he has so much money. Pay attention to what he's doing. He's not addressing why people call him immoral. It's not because of the billionaire status. It's not. We don't need. Well, the only thing immoral is lying to these niggas telling them that you're a billionaire. Billionaires don't take out $80 million loans on their houses. They may take out an $80 million line of credit, but not loan. He keeps taking people who dissent against him People will have no issues. So here's the thing. Here's the thing about it. Here's the thing about it. Here's the thing about it. They always want to change it to their money. But Jay-Z, you spend all day, all this music. Chat room, how many songs has Jay-Z put out bragging about how much money he got? You put that out there. You put it out there. And it's not the money. It's how we've seen you treat people as you've moved through this thing we call music. Look at this. This is 4 days ago. Beyonce and Jay-Z took out a second $57 million mortgage. Let me tell y'all something. Billionaires don't take out a mortgage. They may take out a line of credit. Money moves on credit, lines of credit. A mortgage is something that you have to start paying back right away. So you mean tell me right before he announces his 2 shows in New York, he does an interview, comes out of recluse, comes out of hiding. Now he's taking out a mortgage? That's not what wealth does. Wealth takes out lines of credit. And I'll be damned if any of y'all niggas fight me on this. I paid my way through college, cash, doing mortgage loans. This is my wheelhouse, motherfucker. This is my look at this one. That 57 million they took, got it, yeah. Look at this. This is last year. Beyonce and Jay-Z. So that 57 million was new. Hold on. That 57 million was they took out a $57 million second. But last year they took out an $88 million mortgage. Pay attention to the words, mortgage, not line of credit. This is why you don't believe music money, y'all. The new 30-year loans from Morgan Stanley's private banking division, 5% interest rate for 10 years. They borrowed $55 million to buy the home. Okay. So it sounds to me as if we got some people here that paid too much for a goddamn house and they living off their mortgage. You don't do this when you cash solvent. You take out, now you most definitely might take out a line of credit, no doubt. But a mortgage? Or you could have just bought a, what, $20 million house and be fine? All that glitters ain't gold, people. I used to do a lot of loans in Beverly Hills and in Malibu. I did one loan. Why the loan ended up not getting approved. I'm not gonna mention the guy's name, because that would be a HIPAA violation. But he's a very, very popular black guy who runs a lot of TV shows. He has a lot of TV shows, And I remember he was buying Ozzy Osbourne's Malibu house in like 2005, right there on the water for like $10 million. That house now is probably worth $30 million now. But back then it was worth 10. Right there in Malibu. And I remember this dude had all kind of stuff. And I remember hearing about this guy on TV having all this money. But I remember seeing him having to refinance his property. We had to pull the cash out of condos, pull cash out of this, pull cash out of that, just so he could put a down payment. And I was like, man, these niggas so full of shit. All this shit's a front. Take this shit. No, not Steve Harvey. Not Steve Harvey. I wouldn't mention the guy's name because even though that was 20 years ago, it would still be a HIPAA violation. And I'm not about to get my shit fucked up over no goddamn HIPAA law. But these people ain't got it the way they telling y'all they got it. Does Jay-Z have more money than the rest of us? I'm for damn sure. But you also gotta it's not about how much, it's what 3,000 says. It's not about how much you make. It's about how much you spend. Not about how much you make. It's about how much you spend. That's real talk. A HIPAA violation and shit. $250K fine and up to 5 years in the big house. Right. You're not going to hear me talk about who I did loans for back in the day. Hell no. People's business is people's business. You don't spread people's business. I'm going to leave the phone line open. I'm going to take a couple calls. I was about to sign off. Should I take a call? Because I know I'm going to probably do a late night live with y'all tonight. If you want to call in real quick. I'll probably take like 2 calls. If y'all don't call in right away, I'm going to hang up the line because I thought about it. I really don't want to take calls. But I did tell y'all earlier I would. So if you want to call in right away, or I'm going to hang up like in the next minute. What's up, Felix Speaks back in here? You said, love you like a play cousin. You know how we do. Likewise, my brother. Right, and these rappers are not frugal at all. That's real talk, Bismarck T. I told y'all my story in Beverly Hills one time. I told the story the other night. The house that we took a hard money loan out second. This dude was a doctor. This dude was like one of those doctors that does like vanity doctors. Like he did like fake breast implants and shit like that. And he had one office in Beverly Hills, another office in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And he would do, and each practice, he was pulling in about $5 or $6 million a year between both practices. So we saw his income was good. He's bringing in about $6 million a year. So we went ahead, we put a second on his house in Beverly Hills. Man, we put that second on that house. I think it was for like $500,000 or something like that. Man, he took that money so fast, and he paid the first mortgage payment. Never been another payment after that. Then when we went to go seize the house to get the house back, this dude peeled up all the sinks, all the marble fleshings he had in the bathroom and the kitchen. He picked that up. This dude picked up the toilets. The dude took out all the fixtures. He took out everything in the house and skedaddled and left town. This was a house in Beverly. I'll get you 1 second, Dana. This was one of my refinances I had in Beverly Hills. All that glitters ain't gold. Scumbags are on every level. And the same way they try to, like a lot of this happened, a lot of you self-righteous Negroes, y'all get on black people, like, yeah, the reason why you ain't got nothing is because you're spending your money on Starbucks and shit. Man, y'all know what these rich people spend their money on. These motherfuckers be having careers pulling in $500,000 a month, but they spending $560 a month. That's on all levels. Don't let these people get down on you just because people are struggling on all levels. What's up, Carter? Oh, this is Dana. I know who this is. What's up, Dana? What's on your mind?
Hey, Dewan, thank you for this deep dive on Jay-Z and just breaking down that interview point by point. I kind of have you for the music history, so I don't have anything to say about that. But what I wanted to say about Jay-Z is that our community, in a lot of ways, needs a Jay-Z. We need someone like this to look up to. And so Ali or Cohen sees how hungry Jay-Z is back in the Rockefeller days, and then he uses that to divide him amongst his people. He left Dame Dash. He's supposed to have amass all this money, but when you break down the mortgage thing, we see that they don't have any money at all. I mean, they have money, but they don't have money like we think they have money. We see all
Yes.
these lavish tours. I went to, I think it was Renaissance that I went to for 250 tickets to sit up on the right hand of God. That's how high the nosebleeds were up. And still, we see that they don't have any money, that they're taking out these lavish mortgages. Like you said, it would be a line of credit. But when I say our community, needs them, is that they love to have someone to look up to. This is, there will not be any equality amongst us because they push the Jay-Z's and the Puffies out there, and we idolize them and exalt them and deify them in a way that's just unnatural. And then it's all a lie. It's smoke and mirrors. It's not even real.
That's real talk because blacks, what they've always used for black society, they know they use our humanity against us. They know that we have aspirations. We are a very high quality, clean cut, fine living group of people. That the clean cut, fine living, and money's been taken away from us, but we still are that way. That's why no matter what black folks are going through, you go to Ruth Chris, you go to these expensive steakhouses, you always gonna see black people you are gonna see black people in Steak 48. You are gonna see them in Morton's. You are gonna see them in Mr. Child's. All of the quote unquote expensive 5-star restaurants. It's always a fair amount of black people in them because we just the kind of people that we like good things. That's why we dress nice. You know what I mean? That's why we so clean, and that's why we Jones and bag on each other because we like nice things, and we're very supportive of people who get there and get it. And we like when we see ours get to that level. Do we have haters? Of course, everybody has haters. But we very are when we see people really, really living the way we really, really want to live, we fuck with it. We do. And too many of us, not all, but too many of us, that's why Obama was able to trick us. I see people saying in the chat room what y'all saying. I get some of y'all saying we don't, but no, she's right. That's why Obama was able to trick us. That's why Kamala was able to trick too many of us. Not all of us. So we're getting smarter now. So we're not as bad now as we were 20 years ago. We're a hell of a lot better than we were 20 years ago. But we constantly get fooled by these Judas goats because we're sold these aspirations. And a great majority of our people are dependent upon those aspirations, and they look towards those aspirations because too many of us aren't willing to look within. And so they can get somebody like a Jay-Z, say, boom, look at all this money he got. You should be like him. And too many of us will do that without taking a critical eye at what's being said. You know?
No, you're right. You're right. And thank you so much for just breaking it down. I feel for us because even if we wanted equality, we wanted reparations, we want anything that is due us, then they'll bring up God in the church to put us back in position.
More
So
of that.
we have to overcome so much to, just to say this is ours, we deserve this, our people fought for this. What were you going to say, Dewan?
No, I'm saying, you're right. Go ahead.
No. That's basically what I wanted to say. But for us, thinking that Jay-Z is this great person, we can honor the music and still say, you can't tell us not to kneel anymore. Because what's his name? Colin Kaepernick, he sacrificed everything. That man could have been living a whole different life as a whole different person, but he pointed out the wrongdoing and the brutality against us.
That's real
And
talk.
because of Jay-Z and the Obamas, well, not the Obamas, not the wife, but Obama himself, he told us to be quiet, that I'm going to give you, Super Bowl performances, and he might have a say-so in who performs at the Super Bowl, but he's not the decision maker.
He's not. Thanks for giving us a call, Dana.
You're welcome. Have a good one.
Somebody said, all the things going on in the world, and the conversation was on Jay-Z. Yes, well, all the things on YouTube, you decided to click on a video that was talking about Jay-Z. You stupid fuck. It's always that one. It's always that one. Dana always calling in with the wisdom, though. Oh, Spud McKenzie said, what's Jay-Z's cards? Great question. I'm answering it before we get out. I'm glad you said that, Spud. Jay-Z's an ace of diamonds. It's funny. I wanted to play this last little part because you want to know Jay-Z's card. Listen to this part right here, and you're going to hear exactly an exemplary reason. If you're going to get exactly why he is who he is. His birthday is December 4th. I just want to make sure I'm right. Listen to this part right here. Listen to this part here. I'm gonna get.
Like you've reached the highest floor, there's still floors to climb, and what the next however many years looks for you.
Yeah, they're more stoked because I thought the highest floor in the building was the end of it, right? The next step is like owning the building. No, you're staying at my hotel.
That's hard.
I think in that way, if we just stay childlike and stay curious, there's always going to be another level.
Stay childlike, stay curious. And that's where Jay-Z does win. Because he said at the end, stay childlike, stay curious. And that's exactly his card. The Ace of Diamonds, Jay-Z's an Ace of Diamonds. And the Ace of Diamonds is a childlike. All aces are childlike. All aces are curious. Ace of Diamonds, Ace of Spades, Ace of Clubs, Ace of Hearts. They're all childlike and curious. The difference is with the Ace of Diamonds, they're childlike when it comes to how they approach life. Like Ace of Diamonds, oftentimes, they can see the potholes without having to experience them. Jay-Z's an Ace of Diamonds, and Tupac is also an Ace of Diamonds. Tupac is an Ace of Diamonds Gemini. Jay-Z's an Ace of Diamonds Sagittarius. So he's more balanced. Whereas Tupac's Gemini Ace of Diamonds was also curious, but his curiosity led him down roads that ultimately went to that compromised him. Jay-Z's not as adventurous as Tupac, but they both for the same card. They both are very, very, very curious. Jay-Z's a very, very curious person. He's someone that's willing to reinvent himself. As long as you're Ace of Diamonds and you're okay with when you fall, getting right back up. That's the superpower of Ace of Diamonds. Staying curious. Jay-Z's somebody that could fall 10,000 times and he'll get up 10,001. He's always going to get up. And the reason why that is because he truly is living in alignment with his cards. Jay-Z said something earlier in the interview when he's talking about, I think I skipped over it, where he's talking about there is no good or bad. And that was wisdom. There is no good or bad. There's no mistakes. Everything's a learning experience. And I thought that was some wisdom that Jay-Z dropped earlier on that. Of course, it was wisdom that he heard from Tony Robbins. He basically was quoting Tony Robbins, but that's the Jay-Z style. Let's quote somebody else and act like I said it. But when I heard him say that, I said, oh, this brother, at the end of the day, he's still living in alignment with his cards. Everybody got to play their cards. Jay-Z making the moves that he makes, that's whatever his agreement is with his karma and all that stuff. Overall, he plays his cards the way he's supposed to play his cards. Through curiosity, through being open, and through being adventurous. If Jay-Z ever lost his adventurousness, then you will see a major change happen with him. But as long as he stays adventurous and open, he's in alignment with his cards. And I thought that's a great way to end the interview, because the interview ended with him basically telling you exactly, Listen again.
however many years looks for you.
Yeah,
in
they're
terms of
more
that.
stoked because I thought the highest floor in the building was the end of it, right? The next step is like owning the building. No, you're staying at my hotel.
That's hard.
I think in that way, if we just stay childlike and stay curious, there's always going to be another level.
And that's very, very, very true for him. And it's true for all of us. But when it comes to you, you got to play your cards. And for his cards, anyone who's ever gotten the reading from me, if you're an ace of diamonds, I've probably told you that same thing. If you're ace of hearts, ace of diamonds, ace of clubs, ace of spades, anybody of those cards who I've ever read, I've told you those same words. Stay curious. Versus if you're like a 10 of diamonds, you need to use more wisdom. If you're a 7 of diamonds, you need to have more faith. If you're a 6 of diamonds, you need to balance. You need to balance your faith and your wisdom, but don't get settled, because 6s and 4s get settled. 6 cards and 4 cards what you got to watch out for is settlement and content. 5s, y'all wishy-washy. You got to be focused. You got to choose something and focus in on it. If you're an ace or a 2, that means that you have to stay youthful and stay open. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
My name is Catherine. I'm calling from Georgia. What is Michael Jackson?
Huh?
What is Michael Jackson's card?
I'm not doing too much of a card reach. I mostly do it on Patreon. But Michael Jackson's card is he's a 10 of hearts. The same year as this year. Center of attention. Emotionalism.
Okay.
Michael Jackson is all about using his emotion. And that's why Michael Jackson was so great. He danced, sang, and made every movement with true, strong emotional intent. That's what a 10 of hearts supposed to do. Express through emotion.
Oh, thank you. Tell Rocky I said I love you, Rocky.
For sure. Thanks for giving us a call.
Bye.
And Michael Jackson's a 10 of hearts. They express through emotion. Lionel Richie's a 10 of clubs. Expressed through mentalism. But thanks for asking me I forgot who that was. Spud asked me to bring out the cards. Because I didn't mean to bring that part out. 3s, y'all niggas fight too much. 3s need patience. You 3s be down for the shits. Y'all be ready to start shit. Y'all need to be a little more goddamn patient before y'all start rebel rousing and shit. Especially if you're a 3 of diamonds. That's where Jay-Z went on with Dame. Dame Dash is a 3 of spades. So that's where they conflicted. 3 of spades, and 3s know it all. The 3s think that they know it all. 3s are rushed. They're aggressive with getting their point of view across. Jay-Z's an ace. Aces are sensitive. That's another reason why Jay-Z and Dame Dash couldn't get along. The 3 of spades don't give a fuck. It doesn't have a filter. It's not that sensitive. It's going to say what it needs to say. Jay-Z's an ace of diamonds. He's useful, but he's also at the same time very, very, very sensitive and scared. Very sensitive. And a 3 and an ace can oftentimes do this. Because 3's ready to rah, 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 rah. And ace is like, oh, you hurt my feelings. So Jay-Z and Dame Dash's cards were not in the long-term plans. Long-term was not in their cards. 50's a 9 of diamonds, just like Kanye West, just like Cat Williams. They're all 9 of diamonds. Them and some other shit-starting ass niggas, 9 of diamonds, boy. They don't give a fuck. They will start some shit. They will flip the table over. They don't care. They just want what they want. They all for self. And if a 9 of diamonds figures out how to get around their own mental hang-ups, they'll be very successful. But we're going to do some more cards on Saturday. 8s got to watch out for their ego. 8s usually have a lot of ego because 8 is perfect. It's infinity. It's never ending. See, an 8, no closing. Look at the 8. 8 is the infinity sign. Infinite knowledge. 8s are money. But 8s also get in their own way because 8s have major egos. Eights have major egos, and their egos fuck them up. Eights have to worry more about having substance, because all the trap of an 8 is you rather look good than be good. But when an 8 figures out that they gotta be good and that'll make them look good, they'll be fine. But if an 8 just trying to look good and not being good, they gonna keep getting kicked on your ass. Elevens are jacks. Y'all fuck around too much. Number 11 is a jack. Jacks are joke. They're youthful. They joke around. Very immature. When jacks mature slowly. The minute a jack matures, he's gonna go through the roof. The issue with jacks is they fuck around too long in life. Jacks are goofy as shit. They fuck around too much. But jacks need to learn how to focus. When a jack learns how to focus, he all right. Queens, y'all some judgmental motherfuckers. And y'all judge yourself way too hard. All queens. Very judgmental in the environment around you. Super judgmental of self. Queens of hearts, emotional. Queen of diamonds, values. Queen of clubs, mind. Your mind's playing tricks on you. Queen of spades, think you better than every goddamn body. And the kings now, we are the best. I'm a king of clubs, so kings, we the dopest. We run all you motherfuckers. But kings, the problem with the kings is thinking too low of themselves or too high of themselves. Ego run amok or not enough and not taking control. The kings don't want to assume the responsibility of being the king. And that's when you'll keep getting fucked up. Part of the responsibility of being a king is being willing to just go out there and face danger, face what it is, and confront whatever's going on head on, and you'll win. Most kings think themselves out of being direct. So each card has its own way. All right. You said Queen of Diamonds, Queen of Diamonds. That means you better watch out for, pay attention to your own judgments. All right. Make sure that you move because you're smart. If you're Queen of Diamonds, you're smart. You know how to assess the value of things, but you also get paralysis of analysis, judging what you're looking at too long instead of doing it. Don't be so judgmental, you goddamn queens. All right. He's just crazy. He said these cards are accurate, man. Saturdays, we do card reading on Saturdays on Patreon. We do these conversations on Patreon on Saturdays. So sign up for the card reading tier. And this coming Saturday, we're gonna be doing some more. All right. Y'all have a good one. We out. Go to bandfamilytree.com.org. Go to incenseandashtrays.com and all that good shit. We out.